Hey there DIYers and Jeepers out there. Today we're going to change the oil in the Jeep. So let's get started. Okay, this is my first oil change on this 2023 Jeep. I've had this Jeep actually since I believe February, and I'm getting close to hitting 10,000 miles. I know probably for the first time oil change, you really need to do it earlier, but this vehicle's literally only had interstate miles on it mainly, and I've just driven it very lightly, so I've not beaten out at all. So being that the engines last longer these days with the synthetic oil, I don't feel bad or like I'm, did any damage to it by waiting this long, but imagine it was going to be fine. So anyway, stick around because later I'll show you one of the tricks I'm going to use for oil changes for the future, make it a lot easier for me. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right to it. So first thing I want to do is go ahead and open up the hood and pull out the oil filter that's on the top there. So I'll go ahead and get the hood latches off here. Go ahead and bring you around here so you can see what's going on. So here's where the oil filter is. So I just need to get a socket to fit the top of that and then just unscrew it and I'll be good from there. Okay, so it looks like I had to get my bigger socket set. This takes it's a 15/16, so almost a 1 inch, but yeah, it's the 15/16. And go ahead and get that thing on there. Threads feel like they could use some lube on them. Yeah. Although they look pretty well oiled up. Get a towel here to put that on. All right. So you just pull that out of there like that. So this is the oil filter replacement, and I'm using the Fram, the synthetic endurance model. The Fram's got like 3 or 4 different types, but I'm just using this one just because it was what was available at Walmart. And so you got your clean filter here. Of course, that spins inside that, which I don't know why. Anyway, it comes with a new O-ring, and that O-ring actually replaces the one that's on your cap here. So on my other Jeep, I did replace it every time. Of course, I only had 3 oil changes because I was only like at 30-some thousand miles when I traded it in for this one. So anyway, we'll go ahead and pull that off there. And it's literally just this oil ring here. And if you got fingernails, which I don't, you can generally get up under it and just pull that off like that. Yep. Then open up this one. That open, and you just put this one on. You kind of stretch it around, pull it on there, kind of rolls around. Make sure it's in the right spot. Actually, yep. Looks like that should do it. So that's on there good. Looks like I do have put sufficient oil around there. So one thing I want to do, I should have done, is to put on my gloves so I don't get my fingers all messy. I just got these little rubber gloves here to put on. There's a lot of different places that sell these gloves. I know Harbor Freight's one of them. These actually have texture on them, so it helps you grip, you know, anything you need to grab a hold of. So anyway, what I always do, I always take the old filter, I just put it inside the old box. And you used to actually pull these off and write on there the mileage, the date, and all that stuff, just for good record keeping. But if I just know that I change the oil every 10,000 miles, it's I don't know, I'm good enough with that. Anyway, so that's that. So we'll go ahead and take this, and so you take the open end and you put it up over top of, and it just snaps on there, and then it'll spin. It just snaps on there, and I know I'm good there. And again, I got a little bit of oil around the O-ring, so now I can just put this in here, just tighten this back down. And when you tighten it, you don't want to make it super tight, because it's not like, you know, it's oil's going to come shooting up out of here. So just once you get it to where it's snug, just give it just a tiny little tug, and that's sufficient. So there's no need to over tighten that by any means. So we are good to go there. So now we're already a good portion into getting this thing done. Okay, so I've been picking up this oil from Walmart, which is 10,000 miles, full synthetic. It's the OW20, which is what the vehicle calls for. And it's, you know, it's 5 quarts. It's that Dexos 1, whatever certification. It's, even though it's Walmart, it's good quality oil. Not had any problem with it. And then I was at Costco the other weekend, and I saw they had this, so I went ahead and picked it up because it was actually a little cheaper per quart for getting it. So I went ahead and picked that up. And whenever you're changing the oil, the vehicle always calls for just 5 quarts, but it always takes just a little bit more. So one of these just is enough. You're going to need, you know, a few ounces of opening another one to have it at the full level. So you always need to have just a little more than what it calls for when you're doing an oil change, just so you know you're set and you don't run it just a little low. So anyway, now we need to go ahead and get up under here and get the oil pan up underneath where the oil comes out. And great thing about this Jeep, even in its stock form, it sets up high enough that I can crawl under there without even putting it up on ramps or anything. All the other vehicles, I've always had to put them up on ramps, and it's just extra hassle getting the ramps out and all that. So anyway, we're going to just crawl under here and get that going. Okay, so where the drain plug is here on the transmission, these are a lot different than the older transmission styles. So look at this little transmission drain pan. It's a lot smaller. It's the smallest one I've ever seen on a vehicle. Anyway, so that's literally all there is to it. And so here's the plug. And so I just need to get a socket to fit that. Not sure what size I need. Looks like that's too big. There we go. That one fits. And I'll tell you what size that is, but I do not have my glasses on, so I could not read it for the life of me. So, yeah, go and get these sockets out of the way. And get that started loose. Pull the drain, or the oil pan down here. Now I'm just gonna hand loosen this. Now, it's always a trick when you are loosening this up. Oops, I guess I need to spin a little bit more. When you're loosening this up, it's the trick of holding on, being able to hold on to the plug here while, you know, when you're unscrewing it, you don't want it to just plop in and get, you know, you lose it in the oil pan. Although for me, it's not going to really matter, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. But so what I do generally, and you try not to get the least amount of oil on you as much as possible. So right now I've got it loosened all the way, but what I'm doing is I'm still pushing it in. As you can see, oil starting to drip. So now I got it unscrewed all the way, but I'm still pushing in. Now I'm just going to pull away and let it drain. There we go. So you can see I got a little bit on me, but it's not like drastic amounts. And so always have shop towels to be able to clean up. And you have to watch this as it's draining, because right now it's draining at the full force, but as it gets towards the end, it'll start slowing down and it'll start trickling, and it could literally go backwards, and you don't want to get it over your oil drain pan there, so that you don't want to make a mess. So you always have to keep an eye on it. There, it's already starting to slow down. So I just slide it over just to keep up with it. Anyway, I don't know why I'm cleaning this off super big, because it's actually getting replaced. And so anyway, we'll let that drain. Now here's the why I wanted you to hang around for the video. I'm replacing this plug that you have to unscrew like you saw in order to get the oil out. I'm replacing it with this engine oil drain valve, and this is a Fumoto brand. I think it's a Japanese, or yeah, probably. And they make these for pretty much all makes of vehicles. A lot of the vehicles have the same diameter and thread count on the for the drain plug. So the way this works is literally, let me just open it up and I'll show you. I had one of these on my old Jeep too. So once you have that in, it's got just a spring-loaded valve there. You basically pull down and slide over for it to open up, and then you just slide it back to close it back up. This one's tight. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so there you can see, there it is in the closed mode, and then you can just pop it up and slide it over to then be in the open mode. I don't know if you can see through. You can see that's open, and then again slide it over and down. Now it's in the closed. I don't know if you can see that metal in there, the valve showing the ball that is closed. So when I install it, I want to definitely have it on the closed. So what it's got a couple things. It's got this little safety clip here that once you close it, you can clip this on. So it just holds that in place. Even though it's spring loaded and it will pretty much hold itself in place, this is just a little safety clip to have on there. And then the other thing it provides you is a little rubber plug to cover up the drain hole, so that just keeps dirt and stuff from coming up in it. But being that it's draining out, dirt and stuff's really not a concern. But I guess just keep it up out of the ball valve portion, because you want that to stay clean. So anyway, this is what we're putting on there next. And so it's drained pretty good. We'll just clean that off, give it a good wipe. And so now we'll go ahead and start screwing this on. And it doesn't really matter, like, let's see. If I tighten this down, this is going to be sticking down. So I'm gonna pull this out and see if I can't get it to start on a thread, maybe one before. Because if I can get it facing, if I can get it facing one of the other directions, then that would be better. But it looks like it's just that one. It's got that one start. So That's fine. So anyway, now I can't, let's see, I guess, let's see if I got a socket to fit that one. Look at that, that's pretty close. Yep, that should work. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna push the oil out of the way. I'm just gonna give this a little tug. So I don't take this thing off-road at all, so I certainly don't have to worry about, you know, dragging bottom and it hitting this, you know, for any reason, so that it would cause that to pop off or to damage the oil pan in any way. So it's up high enough that it should be good. And again, I'm not over tightening this, so just putting a good snug on it. All right, so now that that's on there, I'll go ahead and put the safety clip on. And again, that just went on there like that. So it just holds that in place. And let's go ahead and put the cap on. Get that opened up. The rubber cap didn't stay on my other one. It just did, for whatever reason. I don't know if it was friction or something, but it just had popped off. So anyway, there's that. I just got that on there. I'm actually going to take it off here in a minute just to make sure that I don't have any oil leaks. Once I go to put oil in. But there, just came off again. I'll tell you what, I'll just leave it off until we're done filling it with oil, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so now that we're back up here on top, you want to definitely probably use a funnel. I was like, not always a good aim with the container, so don't want to spill oil all over the engine and have it start smelling when the engine heats up. That's never a good, pleasant smell, especially synthetic. So anyway, I'm just like, have this oil, this funnel. I'm just cleaning the inside to make sure there's no loose debris. It's dirty, but it's not like, just want to make sure that there's no dust or debris, anything that could fall down into the engine. So now I got that clean, go ahead and remove the engine cap here. Set it off to the side. Put my funnel there. And get my oil. And of course, you want to pour this slow. You don't want to pour it too fast so that it overflows and spills everywhere. Just pour it so it's consistent and steady. And I'm actually going to just go ahead and pour the whole 5 quarts in, since I know that that's what this requires. And again, I'll probably have to put in just a touch more just thereafter. I guess the one thing I didn't say, which hopefully it's obvious, but when you are doing an oil change, especially at the end when you are checking the oil level, you want to do this on a level, flat surface, so that the oil is sitting correctly in the engine. You don't want to be on a elevation and give you an incorrect reading. That would not be good. So now we got that in there. What we're going to do is go ahead and pull this off. We'll just give that a clean. I'll go and put the oil cap back on. Got that on there. So we're good there. So now, make sure that the engine compartment is clear of all the stuff that I had in there that I was working with. It is. And so that's good. Now we'll come inside. And what we'll want to do is, you don't want to start it and just let it run, because the oil's not up around all the parts. So you want to start it and stop it right away, and do that like maybe 3 times before you let it run for a longer period to get the oil pumping. So go ahead and give it a first try. So wherever it started, I stopped it. Try it again. And stopped it. One more time. And stopped it. Okay. So that's good. So now I should be able to go ahead and start it. And what we want to do, we want to check our oil pressure. So we'll pull here on the controls, go through all of the different settings here till we get to the oil. What was that said? Oh, it says oil change required. Tire pressure, cool temperature, trans temperature, oil temperature, oil pressure. So your oil pressure is at 30 pounds per square inch, and that is it's right in the middle, so that's good. So now that we got that, we want to go back to where it said, here at the oil life. So since we just changed it, we want to reset it. So here I want to hit the OK, and it said to reset oil, engine must be off with ignition in run. So we'll turn it off, and to get it in run, you don't want to depress the brake. You just want to press the button. Now it's on AC. Now it's on run. And so now we want to come back to the menu, which I just hit the OK button again. Okay, it says oil change required. So here, started. Wi-Fi is on. I got to add some washer fluid too. So I'm going to hold it on the button, and there it went 100%. So at this point, it's been reset. So we are good to go. We're going to check all the other settings, make sure we're good to go. Looks like tire pressure is good. Okay, we are good to go. So I can go ahead and turn this off and go ahead and start it one more time. Just make sure that the oil warning went away, which it did. So we are literally good to go. Now again, I just need to add some washer fluid to make that one go away. And then all my other warnings should be good. So I'm going to shut this off. Now that had pumped through, it's not like the old vehicles where the oil filter was at the bottom and you had to run it to get the oil pump to pump oil through it. So then you had to add more oil. This one I guess just cycling through the motor, but eventually you are going to need to add a little bit. So we'll pull out the dipstick here and we'll check it and see what it has to say. Let me grab a clean paper towel here. It's not paper towel. Well, it is paper towel, but it's called a shop towel. So pull out the dipstick, give it a good clean, and then go ahead and look, see. So at the flat surface, it's got low, and then if it's up, oil is up to the top, then we are full. So given that we know that, we'll put this back down in there. If we can get it to go in. Let's up for a second. Pull it out. And you can see we are low. It's just at the bottom. So it's definitely more than 5 quarts. This to me, that looks like it's going to be more than like 5 quarts, maybe 5.5 quarts. Anyway, I'll go ahead and put this on here. So you can see why we need more than just what they say of the 5 quarts. So now we'll open up one of the containers of the Kirkland and put it in. All right. So you don't want to necessarily put too much in, so you kind of guess about what you think it's going to need to be able to get that where it's at, and then stop. Of course, the great thing with that new valve that I put on bottom, it makes it easier to bleed out just a little bit, as opposed to, you know, having to pull a plug and getting oil everywhere, trying to then put it back in. With that, you just slide it over when you're done, and you don't make that mess on you. So I'm gonna pull it out. It looks like we're up higher, but because I don't know how that oil drains down in, if it was draining over the top of the dipstick or not. So we'll give that a few seconds here to finish draining down in, and let's go ahead and give it another reading here. Okay, look at that. We are near, it's still not quite. So I guess I'll just leave that out because I'm going to clean it before I put it back in anyway. So I'm thinking that's probably more like 5.5 quarts. I know it's a good half quart I put in of this new one. So give this a good clean here. Now, I've been changing oil since I was old enough to drive. One of my first jobs was at Goodyear. Just changing oil, changing tires, and then they got me doing some other mechanic work, changing alternators and water pumps and that sort of thing. I think it still looks just a touch low. I keep leaning it back, and so the oil's draining on it, and so I got to just hold it steady. I really need my glasses so I can see a little better. But as you can see, it's almost to the top. Looks like it's at the top on one side, but not on the other, so that's how it's setting in there. So let me just put just a splash more in, and we'll call it a day. Okay, I feel good about that. I don't even feel like checking it again, because that should be plenty good. Go ahead and set that to the side. All right, now while we're here, I'll go ahead and check these other fluids. As you know, it said that I needed washer fluid. So of course this is the washer fluid. Just clean it, make sure there's no dust or debris around. And I've been stocking up on this stuff. When you can get it at, like, if you go to Walmart, they used to have it for $1, and then it just keeps adding up. And then I know for the winter months they have the, you know, the winter formula, which is a little more expensive because they put a little more concentration of, you know, whatever detergent or alcohol in there, so it'll help defrost your windows and whatnot, and keep it from freezing within your tank. But I found that you can go to certain Dollar Trees, and they have the gallon size for, well, it's $1.25 now, but yeah, you can literally get it for $1.25 as opposed to paying the $2+ that they're now selling it for at Walmart. So whatever's a good deal, I always try to go for it. So just top that up to the top. All right, now we're good there. These others are visual inspections, because everything's the way Stellantis has done is they've made a lot of these kind of clear containers. So here we can see the level of this. We are good. Same thing with our power steering. Wait, I'm not sure which one this is. Hang on. That's, what is that? I don't even have my glasses, so we'll see what that says, because this is our brakes. So, not sure what this one is. Anyway, so we're good to go there. And then this is our coolant, and so we're at the minimum. And so we're not, the engine's not super hot, so for it to be at the minimum down there, it's above the minimum. It's kind of halfway between minimum and max, so we're good there. So battery showed it was good, so everything else should be good. Guess the air filter is the next thing. I did not buy one when I got this oil change, so I need to buy an air filter, and I'm going to get a cabin air filter as well. So I'll have another video for replacing the air filter and the cabin air filter, and we'll be good. So at this point, I can go ahead and close up and I will be good to go. Okay, and again, after you've changed the oil and you've added oil back, you always want to check back under here just to make sure you have no leaks, because that's the last thing you want is have this thing start leaking on you and you're leaking oil when you didn't realize it. So always check this, and even after a day or so, it'd be worth checking, like wherever you go to park, just to make sure that there's nothing leaking at the time. So I generally always do that. I check wherever I parked when I pull out, just to make sure there's no oil wet spots there. So this looks like it's nice and clean. So again, I'll go ahead and put this cap on. Oops, it's a little snug. So I guess that's a good thing, so it'll stay on there. So got that on there. Got the safety retainer on, and we are good to go. So now it's just a matter of picking up my tools, disposing of the oil properly, and we are good. Anyway, if you guys like this video, I certainly appreciate you liking and subscribing for upcoming videos. I do all kinds of things around the farm, whatever you want to call it. Then always working on a project of some sort or another. And I've got some other crafty things that I'm working on too, so I'll have some videos for those. But yeah, I appreciate you subscribe, hit the bell notification if you get notified of any upcoming videos. And until the next time.